times that they doubted me, and I knew that I would last, now they proud of me. I was down bad, needed you to help me.
This is the Black Adventist Network.
With our stories.
In our voices.
With our solutions.
I'm gonna grind like this year was my last year.
What divides the SDA church? All lives matter? Question mark. So the thing is, what divides us while we have different conferences, different regions, is that mindset, the all lives matter, what I call mindset. Like when Danny Shelton supposedly said that, right? What does he mean by that? I mean, does he mean you don't recognize the plight of the black member sitting in the pew next to you? When he says Black Lives Matter, you say all lives matter? What do you mean when you say that? Are you saying that, hey guy, not just black people lives matter, all lives matter? You know, what do you mean by that? Because if you do mean all lives matter, that still means black lives matter. So when you are saying that, what do you mean? Because in our church, what separates us is not doctrinal belief. But yet we have separate churches, separate schools. So what divides us? Is it we don't believe in Christ? We don't believe in vegetarianism? We don't believe in sex after marriage? We don't believe in the state of the dead? We don't believe the second coming? We don't believe in EGI? What? We believe all of those are synced up. So what divides us? It is all lives matter concept versus Black Lives Matter concept. It is understanding in that aspect that separates us, at least from my estimation, from what I'm seeing. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about that.
Yeah, and you find that division, what divides us that you're talking about, it really happens only in North America, right? That's where you find this separation in worship, in schools. And again, it kind of goes back to this cultural revolution and this unrest that we're going through as a country, where we're saying that there's a problem and we've been quiet too long, we've been silent too long, because the things that divide us can't continue.
Well, yeah, I don't understand is folks are smart. Folks who are making these comments that are saying all lives matter to rebut what's being done are smart people. They know that we are not saying it's not only Black Lives Matter. That's not what's being said here. They know that I think it's just this this power struggle where we can't give in to this movement. You know, we can't give in. We know, they know what's being said. They know that we're saying that we as a Black population have been, and I said it in the last video, that we're being devalued, and we're not it's like all the issues that we've been saying for years have not been recognized, of how we're treated unfairly. So please remember us, that we're out there, that we're being taken advantage of, and that we're being treated unfairly. And this is a tape, or many tapes that have been used in the past to show you the cruelty to our race. Please, we matter just like you matter. That's what we're saying. We matter just like you matter. Focus on us because we're being marginalized. The things that are happening to us. Focus on us for a little bit, because things are just not going right with this group of people, Black people. That's what we're saying. That's what we mean by Black Lives Matter. Is, hey, remember us?
Right. Right. When you say all lives matter, we're saying yes, and all lives include Black lives.
Yeah. Add us to that.
In that we're including.
So what are you saying? What are you saying then? So what are you saying? So you're saying you just say, there's people that are smart out there. They know what we are saying, but yet they're saying all lives matter, like you said, to rebut it. So basically, you're saying that if someone says the term all lives matter, particularly after someone says Black Lives Matter, they're bigots.
It comes across that way.
No, they don't come across that way. And that's what I want to talk about. So
I think
if I'm telling you,
some people are bigots, and other people don't take the time to realize how cruel it is that they're adding to that bigotry, or they're adding to what seems like racism, or they're being insensitive by saying that.
so you're saying they don't know what they're saying.
To their problem.
Some individuals are bigots and some don't know.
I'm thinking of, and I think an example is Drew Brees, from the Saints, the quarterback from the Saints. He had said something similar, and it really hurt the team. He came on, he said that it was all over TV. Drew Brees was like, all lives matter. I don't, I agree with what's going on, but I do understand the plight of what, my black friends and whatever he added. And he got a lot of flack for that. People were just outraged. News people, the media, everybody was outraged. And then he came back a day or two, I don't remember how long later, and said that he actually sat and had conversations with his friends, his other football players who are close friends of his, and listened to the reason why this Black movement is going on. Really listen. And a lot of times we say we listen.
Or are you sure he didn't just listen to his manager who said,
that could be,
look, this is time. You got to
that's suspect as well, but just the fact that how he went into great detail and he said that when you take the time to not just hear, but to listen to how the other person feels and why they made why this movement is, and it made him reflect on, this is what I needed to do, sort of going with this whole overall tunnel vision of all lives matter, because it's like this tunnel vision, then seeing the overall big picture of the struggles of these groups of people, Black people, our struggles, and really seeing where we're coming from. And it took him doing that, really listening, to realize that he was sorry for his comments, that he apologized for it. But yeah, I mean, it has that, managers and money on the line. I understand that, but whoever gave him the words to speak and to the way in his apology, it came across really well. And I accepted his apology. I mean, I do like football.
Because you're
like
right. You're a big fan.
So Dr. Ann, I think you said it best. I think, part of the big issue is that folks aren't necessarily listening. So we try to have these conversations, we say these things, but because it touches on a topic that at its core is a taboo subject, nobody wants to have those conversations. So we quickly shift. Black Lives Matter. No, all lives matter. Let's make sure we keep that relevant. Yeah, I know you're saying Black Lives Matter, but all lives matter as well. We're not necessarily honing in on what the understanding of Black Lives Matter truly means, because when you get to the core of what Black Lives Matter really means, it touches on a dark part of our history that we really would we really would rather just press forward and move forward without necessarily addressing it. But it's something that can't be addressed. You can't progress forward until you address it. It's like having a cut that is just lingering longer without healing because you've chosen not to dress the cut. The quicker you dress the cut is the quicker the cut gets better. But we choose to have these conversations because they hurt, because of what has happened in history, because I wasn't necessarily one who did something to impact you. I shouldn't necessarily have those conversations, but the conversations still need to happen so that we can all be aware and understand and together see how we can make a difference for the future.
I agree. I have one small caveat, though.
Here it comes.
The end part where you said, I wasn't one of the ones that did that to you.
Mm-hmm.
So I shouldn't have to be responsible or whatever you want to call it. No, you were not. No one's blaming you for that. However, you live on a system right now that's taking advantage, that is still harming me. So if you live on that system, if you're prospering off that system, you are responsible now to help fix that system. No, you didn't do it. You didn't cause it. You didn't build it, but you're profiting off of it right now. So if you see the injustice and you don't do anything about it, that's like me seeing you in trouble. Hey, I didn't put you there. You got into the car crash and you decided to go into the lake and realize you can't swim, or you were trying to swing over or whatever. And I'm walking by. I don't want to get wet. I don't want to jump in there and save you. You know, that's the same. You see what's happening. You see assistance is needed. Yeah, you two choices. You either continue on benefiting off of it, seeing the plight of other people get actually destroyed, or which means you are also contributing to that, or you can do something, even in a small way, to help. And I don't mean go out there and run for president, senator, or go out there and stop somebody from attacking. I don't put yourself in harm. I'm not saying all that. It can be as simple as you're in your sphere of influence and someone saying something that will influence another person's thought that is wrong. You can correct that. That is your way of speaking up, of not contributing to the current plight of people that are in trouble.
So playing devil's advocate here, part of the larger conversation that I have, or the thought that I have, is the fact that we need to have a deeper conversation about this. We have not listened where this conversation is concerned. We've said things hoping that it would necessarily be received, and it's not always received, because in order for it to be received, you have to listen to it in the first place. So, our white counterparts need to listen in on what we're saying, and then we need to do a better job of explaining things. Hypothetically, let's say they don't understand what that privilege means. I've grown up to where I completely have worked hard for everything that I've gotten. I don't know what my grandfather did. I don't know what my dad did. I don't know what the folks who came before me did. However, I know what was in front of me was that I needed to work harder. And I worked hard to get what I get. So how is it that you now explain to me and say that I'm benefiting from privilege when I don't really understand what that really means? I think we need to do a better job of explaining what that really means. And I think they need to do a better job of listening as well. And I think with the atmosphere that we're in now, that is possible. And so these conversations help to champion it, to keep moving in that direction so that some change comes.
Okay, well, to answer that last question, it is this. You have had the privilege of working hard to getting by and acquiring what you have acquired without the added hardship of the color of your skin as you are working hard.
Yeah, exactly. You have an opportunity. Just to have an opportunity to work hard is a privilege, because people of color don't even get an opportunity, or when they do, they've had to fight for that opportunity to be able to work hard. And it's not as easy as saying, well, go out and get a job. You have to fight just to get through the door, to get a good job, to make a decent living.
In your local churches, if you're a member, can you see where all the money is allocated?
Well, that's a whole nother subject, because the question is no. Well, no.
I don't know.
For some churches.
Some churches.
From my local.
Well, I should be able to go to the website, sign in with some password if that's what you want to do, and let me see what you are doing with the Lord's money. I want to know how much you're giving to that school versus this school versus this conference versus that. You don't want me to see it because you want to do what? you want to invest in KFC, and we're supposed to be vegetarians. Yeah. So we need to see these things. You don't want to be held accountable, and that's why when you don't want to be held accountable, you hide things. You make things hard to understand. You don't want visibility, so you make the process
Everything
difficult to find out and hard to understand. What you doing with the money?
We need more.
Yeah, I think
transparency.
we need to be asking for more transparency in the process of how things are done,
Right.
so that we can see and believe that there is fairness in the distribution of resources, from education on down to a number of different things, in our schools, and our conferences and our division. I think there needs to be better transparency, and I think that this is the moment on which we need to see a cultural shift in the way we do things, in order to make sure that people feel included and we become more inclusive. I think this is the moment for us to rise up. You find that whenever there's a movement, civil rights movement, or this moment, the religious community always lags behind, which really we should be at the forefront, right? Because Christ is love, God is love, and so we should be at the forefront, but we're always lagging behind. And I think this is the moment for us to rise up as a church and say, let's embrace all our members, and let's embrace all of God's people.
So we don't trust our leaders now. We don't have faith in the leaders that God has put in place for the position that they are in.
Did the United States want transparency from the president?
Yeah, but well.
There you go.
We trust our leaders, but we're saying let's be inclusive of leadership, right? So
Ronald Reagan said, "Trust but verify."
Yeah.
I had a crush on Ronald Reagan, and
oh my goodness.
I know that people are usually shocked by that, like, what? He said a lot of racist things, but this is with his acting. I had no idea. As I got older, I got smarter. But he still was cute in his younger days, though. Anyways.
Well, Reagan said trust but verify, but so does Paul, right? Because he says, you find in the New Testament, it says prove all things.
Yeah, true. So Reagan probably stole that quote. Well, guys, I think that's it, right?